My favorite book series of all time, The Last Kingdom by Bernard Cornwell, is a fantastic set of novels. So I wonder, how good will the Kickstarter game be? Just got back from the post office. Let's check out what's inside the box and what kind of a game this is, here on Legendary Tactics. Okay, so The Last Kingdom. This was a must purchase for me. When I saw that Gamelin Games had a game designed by John D Clair. You might know him from Cubitos back in 2021, Dead Reckoning in 2022, and he did Mystic Vale 2016. He's done 47 different games, so there's quite a bit of variety there. But because this is a book, you know those books that you get and you just savor them and you don't want them to end because they're that good? This is that book for me. And over the years, the series has come to an end now, and Netflix has put out their own version of it, which I would say is actually pretty good. But they just recently came out with the film, and I think it was the only thing in the entire franchise that has been trashed so far. So I hope that this board game doesn't continue with that, because I didn't really enjoy that film. It felt like they completely messed up the entire point of the series. But the Last Kingdom board game is one that I had to get. One, because, while our channel is a war game channel, a political game channel, we love heavier games. This is an area influence game. I recently had the chance to play War of Whispers. And that's one where you aren't directly controlling one of the factions of the game, but instead you're sort of negotiating the relationships between the powers, and you need to commit your power to those. And that game actually reminds me a little of Article 27 in terms of how you associate with the different relationships on the board, very, very distantly. But this game, I think, is very similar in that sense that you've got the Saxons and you've got the Danes, and your job is to essentially align with whoever's going to win the battles. That's how all the villains tend to operate in these series, where they just sort of wait to see who's going to win and then they jump on that bandwagon. But you could also commit heavily and influence the game through your actions, through your asymmetrical powers, and try to force the outcome that you want. So the rulebook is 16 pages long. It's a typical rulebook. We'll put it aside because I think there's a lot more interesting components in here. So we've got these screens, the masks. So it says on the back here, the gameplay. On your turn during a conflict, you perform a market action. So there will be a series of market cards, that's these guys here, that everybody can bid on. And I think they get increasingly more expensive. You play a card, you move your leader, you pass your turn, prepare for the invasion, and then you resolve the conflict, disband armies, and reset for the next conflict. So we've got these for each of the players. So it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in terms of player count, I should have checked that before I flipped the box. We're looking at 2 to 5 players, so this is not a solo experience. And it's ages 14 plus. That's meaningless because it depends on how long you've been working with kids to game with them. Wow, it says 30 minutes to, is that, oh, it's 30 minutes per player. I thought it was the infinity symbol. I'm like, this game could take forever. No, it's 30 minutes per player. So you're looking at a minimum of an hour-long game, which to me is really nice. I like a game that comes in around an hour. So in terms of the tokens, let's get this to the side. Okay. So, yep, nice heavy card stock here. I am a Dane. Oh, that's Breda. She is the one that Uhtred was originally in love with, and then Uhtred, essentially Uhtred throughout the series takes different sides. So just to give you a sense of the narrative flavor, Uhtred of Bebbanburg was a little boy who watched his father get murdered, and the Dane who did it, he thought he would go down and challenge him and attack him and kill him, and the Dane thought that was really cute, Ragnar Sr., and he essentially took the boy in, trained him to become a Dane, taught him the language, the culture, and so Uhtred, the entire series series is about Uhtred deciding whether he's fighting to unite England or whether he wants to be a Dane and to conquer England. So there's some really interesting history that goes behind the game. Of course, Bernard Cornwell, it's historical fiction. So Bernard Cornwell has written Uhtred of Bebbanburg in as a character who happened to be at all the major battles and happened to have major influence, but was never recorded in the history because, you know, the glory was always stolen from him. So, this is interesting. There's some rings here with the garbage pail in the middle. So these will likely fit on the miniatures. We'll get to those in a moment. I think these will be the rings that go around the base. Forgive me if I'm incorrect. There's Alfred there, and I believe this is Uhtred. Uhtred of Bebbanburg. Yeah, so he's pretty cool, and honestly, the series is really good. It brings it to life. There's, you know, full colorful music, full of the beautiful cinematography. The battles are epic, and I really like it. But if you want the raw, visceral experience, then you need to read the books. So it's one of the few books that I actually keep on my shelf because it's just an absolutely gorgeous series, and I love every single book in the series. So let us see. This is our map now. Mercia, East Anglia, Wales, Northumbria. So you can see that, and we got Wessex at the bottom. Fairly straightforward map. There's not a lot going on. I mean, you don't have a lot to play with because you're working with England, so you can't really change that, but what you can change is the size of the territories, and those aren't very big at all. Each of these refer to the powers. So over here you can see the Danes get their own column on this affinity chart. Got the West Saxons, the Mercians, and the Northumbrians. So these are all the Saxon groups, and these are the Danes. So the main focus of the game, I believe, never having played this game, is that you are going to be either influencing and connected to the Danes or to the Saxons. But as you likely know, there were sort of wars between these factions for power because they weren't a united force. So the map is fairly simple that way. I like that. Some slots for the cards over here, the action cards. And I know you've probably been waiting for the miniatures. We will get to those in a minute. So let's check out the cards first, though. So there's not an overwhelming amount of cards. Oh, there's a little baggie. The Last Kingdom. Nice. That looks pretty cool. Ooh, are these card sleeves? Oh, look at this. Official card sleeve. So this must be because I backed the Kickstarter. 90 poker size, 10 tiny epic size. So some bigger ones. Are those going to fit? Yes. So those are going to sleeve the major faction cards. And then these are the cards from that are likely the action cards. So okay, Uhtred of Bebbanburg, Tactical Strike. So what the cards seem to do is you can move from one territory to another territory and kill the iconography. You're going to have to learn here. I haven't learned it. I'm just reading what I think it says here. You can kill whichever faction you want. And it actually says here, move one army to an adjacent region and then remove up to 2 armies from that region. Then gain 1 West Saxon. Oh, so this is the gain part. 1 West Saxon, 1 Mercian, or 1 Northumbrian affinity. So you'll be moving up those tracks there. And that's pretty cool. So this is a starting card. So it looks like each of the characters will get the starting card. There's Uhtred of Bebbanburg. There's, if you've seen the series, you know why I'm saying it that way. There's Ethelwald. He's a bit of a villain, but Alfred, totally ungrateful character. We've got Ethelfled. This is the beautiful one. Well, I'm not going to give you spoilers on this. Just read the books. I won't tell you. We've got Oda the Elder, Guthrum, Ragnar the Younger. I do like Ragnar the Younger. Breda, not a fan. Yeah, okay. Lots of really cool characters here. So we got some permanent cards. I imagine these are ones that you can reuse throughout. That's pretty cool. So each character will have that. So it looks like there's sort of an asymmetrical power to each of these characters. So yeah, these cards look really nice. I mean, they've just used screenshots from the TV series. So There's no drawing or anything going on there, but if you like the series, you'll probably recognize some of these moments, and you may enjoy seeing that artwork on there. So we've got our sleeves. Let's get into our faction cards. I don't even know what they're called yet, but I assume they're probably faction cards. So Utrecht of Beppenburg, destiny is all. So he begins in Northumbria, which will be up in the north there. That's interesting. Throughout the series, he was all over the place. So I'm curious when and where the game is set. His starting allegiance is as a Dane, and so that tells me it might not be super early, might not be super late. This might be somewhere in the middle. He certainly did flip back and forth throughout the series. And primary action, spend 2 serpents or something to move Uhtred 1 region. So mobility is his power. Good. Alfred also. Oh, so all of them seem to have this power of moving. And then here are the Danes. So these, I assume, are the Saxons. These are the Danes. Excellent. Okay, very cool. So I'm liking it so far in terms of the component value. These guys, no clue what they are, but, these are the armies. Okay. Very cool. Now, I've seen in some of the previous content that's come out that the armies were represented by little square cubes. The ones I hate. If you've seen my channel before, you know I hate those. I love this. This is a nice upgrade. Okay. Sweet. So these probably correlate to the various colors on the map here. Here we go. So we'll get the Wessexians down there. The Wales, Mercia, there's the Danes. Get some Danes over here. Oh, this is cool. So this will be the starting setup, and that will adjust as the game goes on, depending how you influence it. So these are a nice sort of tertiary component. But here we go. One of the main reasons I had to get this game, not only because of the narrative and the story, but because it had miniatures. Now, I haven't really gotten much into painting of the miniatures, but it does look like these have some nice texture on them. So that is cool. We've got a longship there, or that's actually more of a sail. It's got a sail on it for some reason. Normally they were just sort of oaring around. This, no idea what these are. Ooh, here's a little fortress. This is exciting. Okay. I am digging this. This might actually be Beppenburg. Ooh, tell me it's Beppenburg. We will find out. Oh, all of the characters. Okay, so it looks like, this will be your main character that you play with, and then these are your peons that you influence. So these are super cool. They are beautiful. And as I say, I think those rings probably go around the base of these. So, fantastic. Okay, if you have had a chance to play the game, please let me know your thoughts on how it plays out and what kind of a game it is. If you want to support our channel, please like, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. But I will be following up with some content, how to play this game, and this looks really cool. So thank you for joining me today, and I appreciate you being here. This is Legendary Tactics.